classes.
It's 3D, honey.
Oh, yes, of course.
All that time he spends up there. A boy his age needs to be outside with his friends.
I don't know that Victor has friends, Jim. Other than Sparky.
Food? Sure, food, Papa? That's a good name. Excuse me.
Okay, let me just move this a little bit this way. Perfect. Good morning. Good morning, guys. It is now Monday, October 4th. Just kidding, October 5th. Hold on, let me check. So, it is October 5th. It is the 5th day of the Stephen King-a-thon. For the challenges, I got my Carrie dress, and I got some of the Shining little signs that I'm gonna put on my door today, hopefully. I'm definitely gonna go all out. I'm gonna be dressing as Carrie. I'm gonna be dressing as one of the Grady twins, and my sister's gonna join me, so I'm excited. I dressed up as Edward Scissorhands, I think like 2 years ago, and it was like the funnest thing ever. I love that movie. I think it's like the best movie ever. Okay, now let's talk about the readings that I've done. I was reading Pet Sematary by Stephen King. Obviously, I started reading Pet Sematary last week, and this one is for our group book, and we're just reading it in sections. I know I'm barely on page 49. I didn't really read anything this weekend. I also plan on starting Misery by Stephen King, and I'm gonna be doing this for the book to movie adaptation. So I've definitely heard so many good things about this. I know someone mentioned it last night on the live that they loved Misery and that Annie was freaking scary and wild. She's a crazy bitch. Hopefully I can read more of Pet Sematary and I can start Misery. I will keep you guys updated on my readings throughout the day. I think I'm gonna take a break from my second job today because I do have some homework.
approach this without sounding insensitive at all. Like many of you out there, I too am obsessed with crime and recorded Chris Watts' reaction to the positive pregnancy test. So she was sitting on the couch with her 2 daughters and she was holding the pregnancy test. Chris walks in and she shows him the pregnancy test showing that it's positive. Chris's response was strange or kind of weird. If he's introvert and he's shy and he's quiet and he's on Facebook Live, maybe he just doesn't know how to react. With Shanann's work, they got sent on company trips a lot.
Hello, today's October 6th. It is the 6th day of Stephen King-a-thon. So I did do some progress last night and I ended up on page 88 of Pet Sematary. The story is definitely picking up. I'm really liking this story. I feel like it's very fast-paced and I really love Stephen King's storytelling in this book because he includes inner dialogue from the main character Lewis, which allows readers to really know what he's thinking. I know the book is written in third-person point of view, so it doesn't really allow us to understand what the main character is thinking at all times. We talked about that Lewis, he moved to Maine because he accepted a position at the University of Maine. It was his first day at his job, and then an accident occurred where one of the students there got run over and his head was falling apart. There was a lot of blood, and Stephen King did such an amazing job at describing this scene. So it was very and there was a lot of gory description with the head almost falling off, lots of blood sprawled on the floor. It also has like a brain description that is just insanely disgusting. So what made it interesting, and what is leading us to the plot of the story, is that this dying man, the young man who got run over, he whispered to Lewis something about the pet cemetery, and this guy knew Lewis's name without even like him knowing it, without even knowing each other. So at first he thought he was just hallucinating, but then when he goes back home, he has a nightmare where this young man named Victor leads him to the pet cemetery. He wasn't scared because he thought to himself that it was just a dream and it was not really occurring, and that it was just a dream of being hypnotized and dominated. In that dream, the dead young man, who is Victor, he told Lewis not to go beyond the downfall, and now the downfall was the old man, Jude, told Ellie, who is Lewis's daughter, not to pass. And that makes me think that the old man Jude knows something about the pet cemetery. And in that nightmare, Victor, who is the young man, he tells Lewis that there's more power there than he thinks, and to not go past the downfall because there's real danger there. In his nightmare, he knows that it's just a dream, but next morning he wakes up and he sees that he has mud on his feet, and he comes to the realization that he actually was sleepwalking. Where I left off, I'm gonna read a couple of more pages and I'm going to update you guys later. Did do more reading with Pet Sematary. I ended up on page 106, so I read around 20 pages. I think I was on page 80 this morning, so I did read it like 20 pages. Right now there's not a lot of action. His wife went to visit her parents in Chicago and he is alone in the house. We don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm assuming it's gonna be really suspenseful. What else happened? Yeah, Norma, she had a heart attack and Lewis saved her from dying. And that's pretty much all that's been going on. There's nothing really exciting yet or intriguing that has happened besides the death that we read in the beginning and then the almost death of Norma, who is Crandall's wife. And that old man, he is very suspicious because on page 89, Lewis sometimes goes to meetings for his job and sometimes Jude goes with him. Lewis finds himself really comfortable with Jude, who is the old man. Jude sometimes talks about Ludlow's history going back 300 years, like he lived all of it, so that makes me suspicious. Like, he probably did live those years and he's freaking like he can never die or he's immortal. He's a vampire. Just kidding. morning, guys. Hello. It's a day for the Stephen Kingathon, so I'm drinking my coffee in this Pennywise mug, and I am about to do my Pennywise makeup with this clown makeup that I got on Amazon. Before I get started with my Pennywise makeup, I'm going to update you guys with my reading. I actually did not read any more of Pet Sematary last night. I ended up on page 106, and I plan to read all the way to chapter 30 today. And I did start reading Misery this morning. I am on page 10, and I'm already like really excited to read more of this because we are already introduced to Paul Sheldon and the woman Annie. We barely know that Annie is Paul Sheldon's #1 fan, and he is going through so much pain. In the beginning it's kind of like weird because this woman has her mouth on his mouth. I have no idea what she's doing. Oh, that's right. I think she was giving him mouth to mouth because I guess he wasn't breathing. He doesn't know where he's at, but he knows that Annie Wilkes is his #1 fan, and that's where I left off. So I'm very excited to read more. I'm barely on the 10th page, but it's definitely one of those books that I'm probably gonna really enjoy. 11:36 a.m. I'm about to begin doing my Pennywise makeup.
It's fart and cream. It's cream makeup. And there's one more thing, and it's this right there. I'm gonna be taking it out. So like I told you earlier, this is a nose, this is cream makeup, this is crayons for your face, and off camera I took this out, and this, and we're going to be coloring we're going to be painting her face right there, Pennywise.
We'll come back to you.
Memory. It's a funny thing. People want to believe they are what they choose to remember.
So this is the finished look of my It makeup. It's kind of like glam, but bloody at the same time. It is now 11 p.m. I just finished watching Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel of The Shining, and it was really good. I'm very impressed. I am currently reading Pet Sematary. I am on page 112, and Okay, skip this section if you don't want to get spoiled. Church is dead. The cat is dead. That's what Lewis has been scared ever since they moved to Maine, because he just doesn't want his daughter Ellie to go through that grief, and he doesn't want her to feel what death really feels like, in my opinion. Jude, he is very, very, very suspicious. He gives me like a very like evil vibe from him, and I have a prediction that he killed Church. I feel like the whole vibe of the setting, I feel like the descriptions of the setting is giving me a spooky autumn kind of gothic vibe because of how Stephen King describes the setting of some parts. Like for example, it says the whole setting with the fading light, the cold and the wind struck him as eerie and gothic, and that definitely gives me like a warm, cozy vibe. The perfect book to read for Halloween because it just has perfect autumn description. Good morning, guys. I'm having some birria tacos. Oh my gosh, it's so good. The smell of coffee is amazing. Hello guys, happy Thursday. It is now 1 o'clock p.m. I went to work this morning at 7 a.m. and I just recently got home like an hour ago. I did read a bit of Misery and it's freaking good. It's so good. I think it's gonna become my second, actually my third favorite Stephen King book. It's crazy. I'm gonna go make myself some coffee and I have like maybe 30 minutes of the movie. And yeah, I'm just gonna, right when it finishes, I'm gonna start reading Mystery again and hopefully read all day and lay in bed while drinking some coffee. Just want to have a relaxing and reading day. Hello guys, it is now 9 o'clock p.m. or actually it's about to be 10 p.m. I've been reading Misery and I'm already on page 106 and this is just very suspenseful. To know that Paul Sheldon, he's a famous writer and he got kidnapped by Annie, and Annie is this big girl with a really bad temper, and I guess she committed a crime and she got found guilty and she lives in a farm and her neighbors hate her. And so basically if Paul tries to escape, no one will hear him. He suffered an accident and Annie's the one who picked him up and took him to her house. She gave him medicine and connected him to some IVs because she was a nurse back then. Can't walk and he has this really excruciating pain on his legs, and in order for this pain to go away he needs to take medicine that Annie gives him. Then Annie reads his copy of his new book called Fast Cars. I think it's Fast Cars, yeah. So she reads his new book that hasn't been out yet, and she hates it and tells Paul to burn the copy because she hates it. And then she buys him a typewriter so he can type a new different novel just for her. And she is a freaking crazy ass girl. Yeah, I'm gonna read for a couple more minutes and then I'm going to watch a movie. So excited to finish reading this one because I'm gonna watch it after I'm done with it, because I am obviously doing it for the book to movie adaptation, and I've heard very good things about the book and the movie, so I'm excited for that. I'm having some tea and I'm just gonna read for a couple of more minutes. Alright, so I'm currently finishing up Misery. It is Friday night and I am currently on page 311. It's kind of slow right now. I just want to get to the point of the story. Is he gonna die or what the hell's gonna happen? And I'm also having some hot chocolate with marshmallows. Also, is it just me or is the story that Paul is rewriting fucking boring? I find myself just like skimming through what he's writing. Also, there are a couple of pages on here that are just insanely boring, and I just feel like they're not needed in the book. Good morning. Today is October 10th. And it is the 10th day of Stephen KINGATHON. I finished reading Misery last night, and the warnings from this book are chopping body parts. That's just freaking gruesome for me. And bones breaking. Ugh. That's just so horrifying to read in a book, especially written by King himself, because he's just very descriptive. He goes all out and describes it like very gruesome for you, so you can really understand what you're reading, and so you can capture an image of what exactly is going on. And I've read other horror books about a psychopath, but never in my life like Annie. She is crazy, and now I understand when people said that this girl is crazy, this woman is crazy. Now I understand why. Murdered a lot of other people and she got away with it, but you guys have to read it if you're looking for a great psychotic murder book. It was great. It was gruesome. It was gut-wrenching. No, this antagonist, Annie, she is crazy. Stephen King, he did a great job at pissing off the readers and making sure that the readers got upset at this antagonist, and I found myself really caring for Paul Sheldon, who was the writer. I was really hoping that he would get saved and he wouldn't die. It reminded me of Bill Hodges from Mr. Mercedes. I feel like they had like really similar characteristics in my opinion. Really liked the way that this book only had 2 characters, and then it included other characters from the story that Paul was writing. So I thought that it was pretty cool. And also we included Annie's history, how she was as a child. So much suspense to when Paul tried to get out of the room. You know, he was held a prisoner in this room for a very long time. I also liked how it did not have any supernatural things in this book, and don't get me wrong, I love when Stephen King includes supernatural things in his books, and that's what Stephen King is all about, you know, that's what it makes his novels. And I really hate when people say, oh, well, King should write a book without supernatural themes. Cemetery, I did not read anymore. I ended up on page 130. I'm gonna read a little bit more right now, and then I'm gonna start reading Cell, and this one is for blood on the cover of the book. And yeah, but I'm gonna end this vlog here. If you guys are interested in my thoughts of Pet Sematary and Cell, go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss the rest of the Stephen King-a-thon vlogs. If you did make it to the end of this video, I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for joining me in this journey if you just subscribed, and thank you so much. It's amazing that I see your beautiful comments every time that I upload, and it just makes me super motivated to make more videos for you guys. So hugs and kisses for you guys, blessings, and I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.